Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to, first of all, thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for joining me and listening. And I pray that the wisdom that's been imparted into me uh, really makes a difference, a positive difference in your life as I share it with you. And to me, that's what it's all about, right? If something wonderful comes into our life, it's our responsibility to use it wisely. And in my case, I know that I have been given lots and lots of good wisdom, and for the purpose to not only enrich my own life, but to help and enrich your life too. Today, I want to talk to you about your personal space. Um, I want to start out by just sharing a couple of funny stories um, that'll help you understand what I'm talking about when I say personal space. I, as a mom, was never one that took in stray animals, like for my kids. If they saw puppies or kitties, I was not always the mom that said, "Let's just take that dog in," or this. We did have lots of pets, but I definitely was known for taking in the extra kids. I have three children of my own. They're all grown adults. And at some point in their lives, they have all had a friend that either, was in a pickle in life and needed a place to stay. Maybe their parents didn't want them to live at their house anymore and they needed a place to stay. Different things. But each time it was a wonderful experience for me as a mom to be able to enjoy putting into the lives of extra kids as well as my own. And I'm super blessed in that these kids still stay in touch with me, and I'm very thankful. I have one in particular that calls me a bonus mom. Hi, Ashley. Anyway, I want to tell a little story about one guy, and I'm going to change his name, because, I don't want to be sharing names. But this young man he came to stay with us when he was about 17, I guess, and stayed for about a year. He was a friend of my son's. And he then, after graduation, went on his merry way and started living his life. Fast forward, gosh, 10 years, we're still great friends. And at a couple of times after he moved out, there would be times when he was living somewhere far away and he'd come back into town and, "Hey, Tina, do you mind if I stay with you?" Not a problem. I always generally had an extra room or space for people to stay. And so finally, at one point, he came back to stay. It wasn't just to visit, and asked if he could rent the room. And I thought, it wouldn't hurt to have a roommate. So moved in, and all that went really well. And then he moved on and went on about his business again. Well, at some point in my life, I came to the decision that, I really enjoyed having my home and my life to myself. And I figured it was time to not have that extra room anymore. So I moved into a place that had one bedroom, but it had like a little office, that I kind of turned into an office. And this young man came to visit one day during a family gathering and said, "Hey, it looks like you have an extra room there, but I thought the last time I asked if I could move in with you, you said you didn't have an extra room." So I looked at him and I said, "It's an office. I don't have an extra room." And I think he kind of got the message. I said, "I'm just not having people move in with me anymore." And it was a learning curve for both of us. It was for me an opportunity to stand up and say, it's time for me to just keep my space to myself. And it was also an opportunity for him to realize that I was different. I had changed and I wasn't taking people in anymore. Another funny story that I want to quickly share is of a woman who removed her couch from her living room. Um, she just had chairs. She just decided, I'm just going to do chairs. And the reason being is that she had some friends that were, asking to sleep on her couch for the night, which would turn into a few days sometimes. And she said, you know what? I'm just going to take care of that problem and say I don't have a couch so that you can't sleep on my couch anymore. And so she removed the couch. We all find ways to do what we need to make sure that we are protecting our space. And another example is, not long ago, we had some people coming into town, relatives and whatnot. And somebody asked, can I sleep on your couch? And I said, at this time in my life, I'm not allowing family to stay in my home. And, I knew that I was putting myself at risk for maybe some people misunderstanding or even thinking that wasn't very nice. But I, had been working at the time and on setting some boundaries for myself and growing and really relishing in my personal space. And so I felt okay about saying that regardless of the outcome. The outcome, to me was just fine. I don't know if anything was ever said in regards to that amongst my family, but for myself, I learned that it was okay. It was okay for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to have this space for me for now. If I decide to move into a big home and have room for everybody at some point in my life, I will do that. But for the time being, this was what I was doing, having this time for myself. So today, what I really, really want to share with you after those stories is a little bit about the importance of protecting our personal space, the importance of taking care of you and what's important in your life, whether it be your home, whether it be your soul, whether it be your heart, whatever it is, there's only one person who can protect that, and that is you, my friend. I just want to remind you that as human beings, we absolutely must stand our ground when anybody ever is trying to push themselves into our space or our life or maybe our home or our finances even. We're precious, and we need to take very good care of our precious selves. I tried to get that point across last week when I said, look in the mirror and find 5 things about yourself that are wonderful and beautiful. I'd like to share some reasons why we sometimes allow people in our personal space. Sometimes we are afraid to be alone. I think that most of us as human beings, the thought of being alone is a little frightening. And we're afraid that if we say, no, you can't come into our personal space, that we're going to be alone. Well, the first thing we need to do is first get comfortable being alone and decide that when we are alone with ourselves, we're alone with the best person on the planet. When you're alone with yourself, you are alone with the most interesting person on the planet. Get to know that person. Okay? And once you do that, it's going to be a lot easier for you to protect your precious self. A sanctuary, a definition of a sanctuary, is a place of refuge and protection. Okay? This shell, your body, is a place of refuge and protection for your inner self, for your soul, for your spirit. Okay? Whether we live alone, whether we live with a partner, whether we have a roommate or a big family, the place that we dwell in is our sanctuary. Maybe your place of refuge is full of people. Maybe your place of refuge is a closet that you go to meditate, pray, whatever. Wherever you go to have that time to yourself, to grow, to think, to pray. That's your refuge. Okay? Maybe gardening, maybe going out in the garden, maybe your whole house. There's been times when I lived alone. I currently have a roommate, but there's been times when I lived alone and my whole house was my refuge. Now, my refuge I find to be in my room or, in my car. Okay? Wherever you find your refuge and protection, that's your personal sanctuary. That is your place that you must protect. You're the guard. You're the guard of your personal space. You're the guard of your heart. You're the guard of your physical body. You're the guard of your home. You're the guard of your car. You are the guard of your bank accounts. You're the guard of your money. You're the guard of your job. So wherever you are in life or whatever you are doing, be sure that you remember that, first of all, you're important. Okay? Get to know your most wonderful, interesting self. All right? And then it'll be a little bit easier for you to see the importance of protecting it. Your money is for you to decide who you want to share it with. Okay? Where you want to invest it. How you want to invest it. Your home is for you to decide who comes in and who stays out. Your heart is for you to decide who comes near it. Your body is for you to decide who touches it, who hugs it, who kisses it. It's for you to decide. If you're concerned about the consequences when you say no, my friend, nothing in this life is more important than being at peace with yourself and inside of yourself. If you lose a friend or you upset a family member because you choose to say no, if you bother a neighbor because you won't give them a ride, if somebody that maybe has been used to borrowing money from you and you finally say, I'm sorry, I just don't do that anymore. If you upset that person, I am going to tell you that the gain is way better than the loss. So I just want to encourage you today, whatever it is that is your personal space today that you're thinking about, okay, protect it. Protect your personal space because there's only one person who can, and that's you. And there's only one person who that personal space is for, and it's for you. So go out today for the rest of this week and build your space up. Make it the way you want it to be. Make it a place that you love being. Love being with you. If you'd like more information on any of this, feel free to send me a little message and I'll get back with you. I'll contact you because I really firmly believe that when we can be at peace with ourselves and be at peace with the things that are important to us in our life, protecting them and guarding them, guarding ourselves, we really will have a much better life. We really will enjoy life much more and we'll do better in life and we'll grow. And that's what we're supposed to do. And that'll be a message for another day. So be blessed, peace, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.